There we go. No, sorry, I want to change that. Where am I now? Foy. Okay. Okay. So over to you, Ruby. Dr. Ruby Mohammed, thank you so much for being with us this evening. And I'm really looking forward to your session talking about diet and nutrition and the meaning and the value of both. Thank you so much.
Good evening, folks. Thank you for that warm welcome, Andy. Um, for those of you that are on the Neolife training group, I have shared a little handout on the nutrition versus diet, just so that you can follow up on points that I bring out tonight, as well as the vital importance of nutrition. A little picture there, basically describing what we need in our daily life. To everyone else that's new, hi, I'm Dr. Rubana Mohammed, and it's a pleasure to be here today, actually representing Neolife as well. I'll be sharing something simple but very, very powerful, and that's the difference between diet and nutrition and why your health truly actually begins at a cellular level. So, we often use the words diet and nutrition interchangeably, but they aren't really the same. Your diet is actually what you eat and what you drink every day. It's your habits, your preferences, your cultural choices, and whatever actually ends up on your plate. Whereas nutrition, on the other hand, is what your body does with what you eat. It's how your body breaks down food, how it absorbs it, and then uses these nutrients for energy, for growth, repair, immunity, and overall function. So, one of my favorite ways to explain it actually is think of diet as the ingredients you put into a car and nutrition as how the car uses those ingredients for fuel and to run. So if you have an expensive Ferrari or Lambo sitting in the garage or in your yard, the last thing you'd want to do is put in some cooking oil. You'd obviously go out and get the best. So treat your body the same way. Go out and get the best. In simple terms, it means you can eat a lot of food, but you can still be poorly nourished. You can be full, but your cells can be starving. In today's world, this is becoming more and more common. We live in a time where food is plentiful, but true nutrition is often lacking. And why we see this is because modern lifestyles, modern farming methods have created massive nutritional gaps. We're dealing with things like highly processed foods, soil depletion, long transport and storage times, stress on what is actually made, environmental toxins, inflammation affecting the nutrient absorption in your body as well. So even when someone thinks that, you know what, I'm eating well, many people are still deficient in essential vitamins and nutrients like your vitamin A, vitamin D, iron, zinc, your selenium in your soil, omega-3 fatty acids. These deficiencies usually impact everything from our immunity to energy, hormones, sleep cycle, mental clarity, skin health, and even long-term disease risk. This is where Neolife's philosophy becomes so important. It actually teaches us, this company also teaches us that true health starts at your cellular level. Every organ, every tissue, every system, it's only as healthy as the cells that make it up. So, in order for our cells to basically function properly, we need lipids and sterols, we need proteins and amino acids, we need healthy fats. Not all fats are bad. We need your complex carbohydrates, and we need our basic vitamins and minerals. When cells get what they need, everything improves. Your energy goes up, your immune function strengthens, your hormones are all balanced, inflammation comes down radically, you age much more gracefully, and your body repairs itself faster. Neolife has been focused on cellular nutrition since 1958, and as they like to say, based in nature and backed by science. Because so many people today aren't meeting their nutritional needs through food alone, Neolife offers like targeted supplementation to bridge those gaps. And these aren't random supplements, they're whole food based, scientifically validated, and designed to work at the source of your health, which in this case is yourself. I'd like to just pick on, say, two of the products that Neolife offers. Two of my favorite products, actually. Your Tree N. It replenishes your essential lipids and sterols, the very first thing I said your cell actually needs. The very oils that keep our cell membranes flexible and are also able to absorb nutrients. Without this, your cells can literally become rigid and undernourished because you're not absorbing exactly what you need, nor are you releasing the toxins that you're supposed to be. The second product is your omega-3 salmon oil plus, which has all of your eight amino acids in it. It supports your heart health, your brain function, joints, hormones, inflammation, and overall immune balance. And I mean, here's a statistic that I think everyone should basically know. A study about 3 years ago done in PLOS Medicine found that simply improving your diet via nutrition can increase your lifespan by up to 13 years. Now, that's 13 years from just the better choices that you put on your plate. Now imagine what optimizing your cellular nutrition can do for your energy, your immunity, your focus, and your long-term health. Having this in mind, putting two together, you can live a happy, long, healthy life. I mean, as doctors, you don't necessarily say, you know what, here's the cure, here's what your body actually needs. Sometimes, patients get trialed on different things, they have to end up coming up for reviews, they end up with side effects from certain things. I'm not saying medication is bad, no. If you need it, you take it. But if there's a healthier option with better results or with the same results, so why not choose it? So before I close, I just want to highlight that one of Neolife's core values, this people are number one. They believe in the golden rule: treat others the way that you would want to be treated. And that's not just why the company does it. It's not just to talk about products, it's not to sell anything. It's more, like Andy said at the beginning, to empower people with knowledge so that they can live healthier, stronger, and more vibrant lives. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope it inspires you to nourish not just your diet, but your cells as well. If you guys have any further questions, please contact the person that invited you or your near life distributor. Have a lovely evening.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Ruby. Wonderful to have you on board and an excellent and an eloquent presentation. I wonder if there's anyone on the floor, just like to, if you have any questions, please type them in the inbox at the moment. We'll take a couple of questions, and certainly if we can give you any information that perhaps confuses you, it would be great. So just bang them into that the box, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I think that, as we're talking about this thing again, um, Neolife has got the remarkable record of everything that they do is targeted to feed your cells. Because if the cell operates optimally, you operate optimally, and therein is the key. Therein is your life. Therein is your future. There is your energy. That's you are nothing more than the sum total of the energy of all your cells. 73 trillion of those little guys, and they're all working little factories. And like you say, diet is what you put into the engine, and what happens thereafter is the miracle, which is nutrition. So thanks again, Dr. Ruby. I've got to thank you. Let me just see if there's any what questions. Yeah, I'm seeing here. Very interesting. Thank you. Okay. Any questions? Okay, that's great. All right, we're going to move on. And what in the Neo Life program, and I want to encourage every single one of the people that are part and parcel of this organization. Neolife's mission is to end the trend of poor health and poverty, in fact, because there's a money making to be made in all sorts of ideas and things. But to end the trend of poor health, it really is a noble and an honorable thing. And how do we do that? We do that by organizing a nutritional wellness seminar where we can unpack the cause and what are the results of not having good nutrition. What are how do you bridge? How do you change your diet? What changes can you make from the choices that you make on the food, to your juices, to your, like you said, whatever you drink and eat is all part and parcel of what goes in. Please also speak to the person that would invited you, your upline, if you're in the business, and organize and say, hey, can I get a couple of people around? I need to tell people how they can have more energy, more vitality, more just get more out of life. Push back the boundaries of the dread diseases. Join us in this campaign like never before. All right. Have we got any more questions? No questions. Okay, cool. I want to now move on. Colleen, I know that you're on the line from George. And, what happens when you take on a business separate to your home, separate to running a family, separate to doing whatever we have to do to survive and live in life? And now we take on this neo life business, time management becomes rather a challenge. And so I'm going to ask Colleen from George, a lady that I've got to meet, her and her husband. As a man that's done that they do have an incredible little farm. If you ever go down to George and you get to that place where you can look at the map of Africa, that's their farm. And Colleen, over to you. Please tell us a little bit of how you manage your time. Colleen?
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for that. And thank you, everyone, for your time to give me a few minutes to explain how I manage my challenges with time management on this business. Time management is one of the most important issues when running a business. You must be aware of the time spent on a particular job. One of the things that many people struggle with is the thing that if this is done correctly, make sure your business operates correctly. Every single person on planet Earth has the same amount of time allocated to them. The difference between the very successful people and the not so successful who are still in the learning stage is how well they manage their time that is allocated to them. The level of your success is determined by how well you manage the time to achieve your work. When one becomes an entrepreneur and it is totally dependent on one's own efforts to produce the income to sustain oneself, time management becomes a lot more intricate. Being one's own boss means that one must do all the work initially till one starts to grow. In fact, in the beginning, you've got to do it all. The faster that one grows one's business, the more successful one will become, as success likes speed. In order to do this, one must manage one's time to achieve the optimum in the time that one has allotted to the job right the first time. Now, one also has to become far more aware of how one divides one's time. If one only has to spend time on growing a single business, it becomes a lot easier than if one has to manage more than one entity. One's business should grow faster if one is only managing one. When most people get started as an entrepreneur in a network marketing business, most people usually are working for a boss plus working to build a business for themselves in their spare time. Doing it this way has advantage that one still has a sustainable income to keep oneself going while attending to building one's own business after hours. Time management is crucial here. One's first step is to make the decision to start your own business and not be dependent on anyone else. One also has to realize that it's just going to take quite a bit of one's spare time to get going. One cannot even focus on time management if one has not made the decision. What is it that one now needs to do? The line firstly one needs to take is time to go and find out what your new business is all about. This will involve spending time joining online meetings, attending face-to-face meetings, attending of events, and studying the literature supplied to you on joining the organization that you will work with to find out what is the product that one is getting involved with, how it works, and how one approaches prospective customers or distributors. This requires taking time out of one's personal life and going and focusing on learning all about the business and interacting with other members. One cannot be successful if one does not take the time to learn. Having said this, one must understand that one learns as one goes by taking the time to interact with one's upline regularly. In other words, one has got to become aware of one's time management. There are always still the daily things that you have to do. It now becomes imperative that you do not waste your time. When one is having discussions with colleagues and old prospective customers, it is important to focus on the subject of your business. Avoid going off the subject and talking about something else completely, because you're now wasting precious time that you have. If the person that you are talking to is the one going off the subject, as soon as you are able, excuse yourself, set a new meeting with that prospect so that you can utilize the time better somewhere else. Stop wasting time. When busy with documentation or research into your product, be disciplined and make a daily to-do list that one needs to achieve and estimate the time in which those tasks need to be done. Then focus on that and do your best to work within the time allocated. Achieve each and every one what one has to do. There will be overruns. In time, you will get better at this. Learn the best way from your colleagues how to present your business, and don't deviate from that. One has a tendency, especially in the beginning when one lacks confidence, that one wants to tell one's customers too much. Keep the information simple, in short. Respect other people's time, because they're also just as busy as you. Then they will be happy to see you again. Make sure to be on time for your appointments and focus on being at your venue or online a little bit earlier than your stated time of meeting. Keep your initial small talk or breaking ice the shortest possible. Once you have completed your meeting, don't linger. Set the next meeting with your customer at the end of your meeting before they leave. By setting a meeting while you are face-to-face makes it easier to achieve your next appointment. It also saves you time that you don't have to sit down and look at your list of people trying to figure out who you must next phone. To save time, make sure you draw up lists of what you have to do on a daily basis. Read your emails daily to ensure that you don't have a buildup of mails that you must read and deal with. If possible, do this out of business hours. This practice will tend to interfere with your personal time, but in order to get going, it is a way to maximize the amount of contact that you have with prospective customers or existing customers. Another area that tends to waste people's time is social media browsing. Most of us get caught up in this thing, especially if it is a subject dear to one's heart. One has to be disciplined to do this. Before reading mails, go through and delete most social media messages. Another area where people have a tendency of losing time is when busy with a job, to make sure that one finishes that job and then put your documents away immediately. I learned a very valuable lesson many years ago about that very thing. My pile of documents got so high, I was now wasting time looking for documents that I knew were in the pile of papers. Of necessity, I spent an entire long weekend in my office filing all those papers. I made myself a promise that day that I would take 5 minutes extra with every single job and make sure that the documents were filed immediately. That was one of the biggest lessons I learned in time management, and I applied that every day with most jobs that I do. All my files are totally up to date at any time. There are many ways to manage one's time. There again, one must be very strict with oneself, not to overrun your time for each job. That needs to be done, but if applied properly, you will achieve your goals a lot easier. The better one's time management, the more successful you will become. Thank you all for listening to what I have to say. And have a
All right.
lovely evening.
Thank you, Colleen. That was great. I've always said too, you know, as you were, Colleen is talking much to do about the to-do list and allocating precious time. So important. And I'm, you know, when I found that when you go full time into this business and even before, your diary is your boss. And so the wonderful thing is you control your diary, but then your diary controls you. And so when you're working with a task, you do that task, finish that task, and get on to the next one. So, so important. And that's exactly what Colleen has been trying to tell us. Well, we had a question coming in while Colleen was talking, and I'm going to ask Dr. Rubana to pick up onto that one. And the question was that can Pro Vitality, and I'd like for you just for our guests, Dr. Rubana, explain what is Pro Vitality, and the question is, can this cause diarrhea for a cancer patient?
Hi again. Okay, so our Pro Vitality is actually a sachet that contains your daily whole food nutrition. It's a sachet that basically gives you everything that you're missing in your current diet. Because, like I said, that there's a hole that we have in what we're taking into our bodies these days. So with the Pro Vitality, our new Pro Vitality is actually much more advanced now because we've got a fourth agent added to it. But I'm just going to touch on the three that were contained in our main sachets. So I spoke about two products initially in the beginning in my talk, one being the Tri and the other being the omega-3, your salmon oil plus. So the Tri itself, that's one of the components of your Pro Vitality. The second is your carotenoid complex and then your omega-3. All right. Your Tri is actually what feeds your cells. That's what gives you the energy. All right. That is your first choice when it comes to your whole grain lipids and your steroid supplementation. All right. Then we've got your carotenoid complex, which is the causes it basically optimizes your immunity by protecting your cells. So with that protective power that it's got in it, we see a 37% increase in your immunity in just 20 days. It protects your heart, it defends your cells, and boosts your immune power. Then with the salmon oil plus, it's got your high potency fish oil with all 8 omega-3s. All right. Normally, when you buy your salmon oils from like your Clicks or your Dischem, whatnot, you don't actually get those amino acids that's supposed to bind to these specific cells to actually assist also with absorption. So with these complexes that we've got in your Pro Vitality, none of it should actually be causing diarrhea. Reason being, they all are natural based. They all do not have any chemical component to it. Neither are they encapsulated by anything that you would find on the normal shelves these days. Because if you go out, let me use your salmon oil, for example. If you go out and buy a salmon oil from your Clicks or your Dischem or whichever provider you buy from, what it's encapsulated in, usually they don't really tell you, but it also it decreases the absorption of that specific pill or those specific supplementations by already 20%, because your body is not used to sometimes digesting those chemicals that they use to encode the tablet. Whereas with Neolife and with the Pro Vitality as well, you can actually go back and trace where your salmon was, what waters did it actually swim in, what did it eat, how it was extracted, and how it was brought to you. So if you're using this on a day-to-day basis as just a sachet, not a meal supplementation, no, not a food supplementation, because there are other shakes that you can use in that case, it should not, from my opinion so far, be actually causing any form of diarrhea. I would advise that you look at your diet, you look at the nutrition, see what you're getting from your Pro Vitality, and see what you're actually eating as well. Maybe keep a food diary for like a week or two. See what you can switch, what you can change, what has actually changed in your current diet, that may be bringing on the diarrhea. You must also remember other medication, especially cancer medication, also just your normal antibiotics. Some of them really already cause diarrhea.
Yeah.
So those are two important things that I would actually look at. And if you're looking for something very specific or you want to discuss the patient a bit more, feel free to send me a message and I'm happy to help.
All right. Thank you. Before you run away, Dr. Ruby, I'd really like you just to address the subject because you're talking a lot about whole food supplementation. And I think, we go to Clicks and we go to Discount and we see an Omega. So, or we see a vitamin C or a vitamin B. What is the essential difference between synthetic and whole food in supplementation?
Okay, so with regards to supplementation, your whole food is actually you getting exactly what they say you're getting. If you get your vitamin C 1,000 milligrams, that is what you're getting as your whole food. Whereas when you're going to synthetic, it is combined with other ingredients, other chemicals, other things that not necessarily are actually soluble to your cell. It also, for example, like I used just now, going to getting, say, your highest brand of your vitamin C, you pay, say, 400 Rand a bottle for the most expensive one. Already, what they're using to encapsulate it is going to not necessarily break down inside your body in a natural way, whereas whole food will. Then you go down a brand, and for those that can't really afford those that are the top brands, for example, and buy a Clicks brand of vitamin C. Each time you go down I call it them the generics. Each time you go down a generic, you're losing the efficacy of that pill actually by 10% and 10%. You're basically left with maybe 20% of what that capsule is actually saying that you're going to get. And also, depending on the person, depending on their comorbidities, it's not necessarily also all going to absorb in your cell like it's supposed to. Whereas with food, we know food in itself gives you your energy. Here, if you are actually getting whole food, you know that you're getting what the tablet says you're getting or what the supplementation says you're getting. Another example I really like to use with my patients is I love mealie meal porridge. Till today, my dad will tell you he will make it for me every time he sees me. But when I was a kid, I could have a bowl and I'll be running the whole day and hungry only again in the evening. Today, I'll have a bowl. 2 hours later, I'm looking for something else to eat. Why? It doesn't have that same nutritional value that it did back in the day because of the very same things that I explained in the presentation earlier. So, Andy, I really, really think that whole food and something that you can actually yourself go back and trace its source, trace how it's extracted, speak to the actual company, the people that are doing it. I mean, it's the only product at the moment that's South African board approved by doctors. And in one of our talks, we also mentioned back in 2017 when studies were done here in South Africa with regards to, for example, our apples and our oranges. I mean, our best produce is sent overseas. Our apples are sitting with 3% vitamin E. Our oranges are sitting with 1% vitamin C. So how many apples do you actually have to throw at me to keep me away?
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruby. All right. If there are any other questions, we're wide open tonight. I think that this is an incredible forum that we have. It's great to have you all on board. And certainly it's just a privilege for us to be able to share our knowledge with you. But we do have someone on our call tonight. Hazel, I want to call on you. I know that we have a program as well where our whole program is about training people and about elevating and lifestyle and personal growth and development. And Hazel's just returned from a camp at what we call our Acres of Diamonds, because we see people as diamonds. And certainly as we develop and as we nurture them to grow, to be leaders, to be healthy, to be wonderful and resourceful, it's just a wonderful privilege for us. So, Hazel, I'd like you just to give us a little testimony of your experience at Acres of Diamonds this last week.
Hi, Andy. Is it possible that I could ask two of my team members and give them 2 minutes because it was their first time?
Wonderful. Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask Miriam and I'm going to ask Rashida. 2
And-
minutes, guys. That's what
and-
Andy gave us.
And please
2
put
minutes.
your cameras on.
Thank you, Andy. We're waiting. Anybody
Okay,
can
good
start.
evening.
Thank you.
Let Rashida
Okay,
go.
Mariam, you want to go first? Okay, good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, I don't even know where to start. It was such an awesome weekend, but I'm just going to talk about my walk. Acres of Diamonds has got to walk a 2 hour walk on the mountain, and it is not just a walk. It's almost like the walk that you do when you start your business. And what I've just written down, it's very short. I'm just going to run through it quickly. When we start a business, we become very excited at the beginning, and when we came to the uphill of the mountain, that was almost like a challenge in our business. As we reach the top, it's that we have succeeded to overcome the challenges that when we started our business. The Rocky Mountain is how your business, when your team becomes inactive, the team really, we cared for each other, because as the people in front would walk, they would always look back and wait for the rest to come to the fore. They assisted each other over the stumbling blocks. Perseverance, the keep on, the stability, never to give up on your struggles and your challenges, overcome the fear to reach your goals. If you fall and you need someone strong behind you and you need somebody in front of you to able to catch you when you push each other to reach the top and to succeed. When you feel you're going to trip, there's always somebody that's going to catch you, and that is your downlines and your uplines. When you interact with downlines, choose your words carefully, because you might just lose them. And that is what the walk meant for me. And that was the Friday morning when we got there, 6 o'clock, we were already on our way to the walk. And that is what I got out of my walk. Thank you very much.
Okay, good evening. I'm just trying to get the camera going. So, Rashida, she said a lot for me. It was the first time. So, what I'm going to take out was, first and foremost, we met amazing people from different countries. So, that for me was a first thing, different cultures. And at the end of the day, the gratitude all goes to Charlie and Alto, who has opened the doors. We went into the middle of nowhere, Rocky Mountains, away from any polluted areas, noises, etc. And you thought yourself you were in a different space. It's all basically you see God's blessings and God's creation around you. Just like the house that we had. What we didn't know was that we were actually disconnected from all electronic devices. There was no TV. And looking back now at the program that was laid, up early, you have your exercise, we all work together, teamwork to put our tables and our food together, placing. It was all about how we connected. We would go straight into our training, amazing information through the 5 diamonds. That it was just awesome being in the company. But the lessons that we got out of there is gratitude. It is all about how values you can apply to your business, how to sharpen our approaches, tried and tested methods that has been put forward to us by those that went through the mill. The behavior and your mindset and your motivation, how you need to change it. But most of all, your dreams. We all can become a director, a 5-star diamond director, and you have to write it out, you have to speak it, and you have to believe it. You have to pull it out there. This is the highest thing that I have valued. By reflecting back, at the end of the day, the whole program was you cannot work without having a plan, without exercising. You need to know that exercise is not the quantity, but the quality. Appreciate life around you. The planning with interacting with people of like-minded, people that give and is there to want to get the best out of you, all the positive people, so that we can discipline ourselves, take ownership of our business. And as Rashida said, be a leader. So at the end of the day, we had social time, we had connecting, and when we left with so much knowledge and so much information that was just amazing that not the online sessions could have given us, because it was refined and brought down to us by the two best people that we all idolize. What we left with was 3 countries of people that united, and we are looking forward to reach the stars with all of them. Going to Bloemfontein, we have other family, and all we can say is we're rising to the stars and to the moon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. That's wonderful. Hazel, I wonder if you'll just come in over here and say what are the qualifications for people to get to this incredible event?
Yes, Andy. So you had to qualify for, you just had to be a qualified senior manager for 3 months or step up. And just to end off, because I don't want to take more of your time, but we as leaders really need to motivate our people to experience. Because for me, the big thing was seeing Charlie working one-on-one with everybody. And I think that for me was really worth it. All the time, all the effort that we put into to be there. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everybody.
Well, I can't wait to get back there myself, because when we were there, I had to dig a hole a meter by a meter by a meter. That's a ton of soil to plant an olive tree. And I guarantee you that olive tree is growing and it's beautiful right now, because that was many years ago. But yes, Miriam also mentioned that the next great event is going to be Bloemfontein. And I know the company's got functions now on year-end events, and we need to attend those and really associate at all times. But start planning now for Bloemfontein. It is in June, and that would seem to be the coldest month of the year. And certainly in Bloemfontein, it is cold. But I promise you now, it will be the warmest room in the whole of South Africa. And as Miriam said, you got these different cultures, different countries, different nationalities coming together from Mozambique, from Botswana, from Namibia, from Zambia, from Zimbabwe. The whole of Southern Africa will be in Bloemfontein, celebrating the incredible chance that we have to pursue our free enterprise dream, to go along and to create something for ourselves which was no way possible other than through this business. So I thank you all tonight for being here, folks. Do plan, for those of you who are brand new, and find out how to register with the Neolife company and get your products at a discount. Find out how you can go along and tell others about the program. And in so doing, create volume in your business, and then volume creates a rebate, and those rebates can give you, and as you grow, as you become senior managers or whatever the title may be, gets you to invitations to various events, and eventually invitations to travel overseas. Like next year will be Egypt, and that the booking is already there and open for those who qualify now to go to Egypt next year. So these are incredible situations: lifestyle, health, and happiness as we meet and as we move together is the most incredible team. Thank you so much, all. See you Thursday. If you want to see how the business side works, I'll be doing a special talk on Thursday. God bless you. See you then. Bye-bye now.
God